I'm going to now talk about building context for community engaged learning. So a lot of you, this may be your absolute first course that you've ever taken involving a community engagement project. So here's a bit of background to get you prepared for what it is to be a community engaged learner. So we like to use the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which were developed in 2015, where leaders from around the world got together to think about what are some goals as a globe that we should be looking forward to make sure that we're making the world a more just and equitable place. So there are 17, the first one being no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions, and partnerships for the goals. So when we are looking for community partners to match with our community engaged learning courses, we try to find partners that are also aligned with some of these goals, because we know that some of our students might also find alignment in these goals for their own personal or professional goals. So as you are starting your course, I want you to look through your syllabus and kind of reflect on which one of these sustainable development goals match. Tara Yasso has an amazing article called Whose Culture Has Capital. When you think about what skills you need to get involved in community engagement, it could be overwhelming, and you might not think that you are somebody who has the skills to do this. But this article is going to let you know that folks that have those experiences that maybe come from marginalized backgrounds actually do have a lot of experience that they might just not know yet. So there are 6 different ways that you might have some capital: linguistic capital, familial capital, social capital, navigational capital, aspirational capital, and resistant capital. So when thinking about your own personal life experience, we like to point out a few that would be good for you in your community engaged learning project. So maybe you are somebody that has a multilingual background. Being able to navigate 2 languages is a very important skill that'll help you with communication with maybe some community members who are also multilingual. Being a commuter, it is really hard to navigate the transportation system, but just having that initiative to know where you need to go to find your destination from A to B is going to be a skill that'll help you take initiative when you may need to find a new location to go for your community engaged learning project. Being a first-generation student and navigating the higher education institution, that is really hard, but having that know-how of where to go to find resources to get you to where you want to go, that's something that you can use for this community engaged work as well. Even things like being in leadership clubs, team sports, or customer service jobs, those are communication skills that you have developed through those experiences that'll come easier to you than others while you are doing your community engaged project. So we say all this to remind you all that there are skills that you have already that will be impactful for you to translate easily into your community engaged project. So try not to think that you're not prepared, because you might already be. The big part of working with community partners and doing community engaged work at a university and community organization level is all about building reciprocal relationships. The work that we do is not done without having ethical and meaningful relationships. And we have this graphic to kind of show you how each person that is involved in a community engagement framework needs to have their needs met in order for it to work well. So we're going to show you about what community partner need out of a community engaged project, what the community members that you're serving needs, what you need as a student, and what you, the faculty and staff, need in order to make community engaged learning happen. So for community partners, They want to be able to receive students who arrive oriented and prepared to work with the community. They want to focus on sustainable long-term partnerships and to establish early and open lines of communication. For community members, they want to know that their work is being done for the betterment of the community and not just for the academic community. So trying to make sure that students aren't just going to get a grade, but actually going to be engaged in the community and make it a better place. And to engage in projects that emphasize the strengths of the community. We really want to make sure that students aren't going in thinking that they're there to save the community, that the community is in such dire need, and your work with them for this small quarter is going to make a huge impact. We want you to know that when you go into communities, there are some assets and some strengths that they already have. So do some research into the community to make sure that you are coming with a fresh mindset, that you are there to be with the community, not just to give to it. UW students, we do a feedback survey at the end of every quarter for partners and for students. And some feedback we get all the time is it is hard to find a placement. So students want to be able to have the flexibility to choose the placements that they have, whether it be local to campus or local to where they are at home that might be really far away. They want to be able to receive a sense of contribution through their work. So students want to find good projects that'll actually help them with their future career goals, as well as be able to be rewarded. So you're not always going to get paid for these positions. You'll rarely get paid for these positions, but you will be able to use that on your resume or maybe apply for a scholarship or an award later on. And students also want to be provided meaningful experiences that will learn from clear expectations. So that is giving us, as UW Bothell staff, the ability to make sure you are knowing what you're getting into and what you have to do so that it becomes a good experience for you and the partners. Faculty and staff, we want to make sure that you are prepared, assess, and debrief the student experiential learning experience. So we want to give you a whole range of opportunities to support and to co-create projects and engagement learning experiences with partners that align with the course goals and learning outcomes. So when partners work with faculty, we don't want this just to be a transactional relationship where we give you something and then you give us something. We want it to be a reciprocal relationship. So what that means is that community partners and faculty are working together to create this project that will be beneficial for everybody. So at the end, when you figure out all the things that you need to make a reciprocal partnership, you need to make sure you're understanding everybody's needs from each section.